Hey guys, you might notice a bit of a trend the last couple of videos. And I can actually talk about this particular movie because TV series because it was actually filmed with the BBC. It's not. I'm not. It's part of. It's not one of the companies that is part of the strike. So I'm more than happy to talk about it. That is the BBC's version of Little Women 17. Now, I've already talked about a version of Little Women already, the 2019 version, which I saw in theaters with my mother. Now, this is actually a slightly earlier version. It's about two or 3 years before the version I saw in theaters. So it's pretty much a very similar story. I've not read the story of Little Women, so I can't say which of the two versions is similar to the books, and technically it's not my first rodeo watching Little Women because I grew up watching the Christian Bale Winona Ryder version of this particular tale. Now, this has a lot of actors I'm familiar with. Now, it's funny that I mentioned Winona Ryder because her co-star from Stranger Things, Mila. Yes, I did read this thing. Mila Hawke, who is in Stranger Things. Now, I'm actually a fan of her parents. Of course, I know Ethan Hawke. So, this also, this goes back to the trend of my obsession with Jonah Howard King, who plays Laurie. Mila plays Jo. Emily Watson, who I know specifically from her work on Miss Potter. She plays the role of Mama March. Now, I don't actually know what her Christian name is because you never actually hear her being referred to by her Christian name. Not even her husband calls her that. And then the other main actor that I know is Catherine Newton, who I specifically remember watching her as part of Ant-Man Quantumania. And of course, I know Angela Lansbury and Michael Gambit. Of course, Beauty and the Beast, the 92 version, and of course, Sir Michael Gambit is from the Harry Potter franchise. This feels like because it was a 3-part miniseries, they were able to feel like it had elements that may have not have been in a movie version. And I notice this one also is doesn't take the idea of this very much has Catherine playing both the younger version and the older version of Amy, which if you watch the 90s version of Little Women, it's actually split into 2 different actors. This goes back to the whole one actor playing both roles. So they've got that continuity. And it feels like it fleshed out a lot of the scenes that I didn't spot, and scenes that were added. Like before I saw the 19 version, you never actually see Beth actually see the ocean. This version has it, and the 19 version has it. And I think this feels a little bit more stretched, but not in a bad way, if that makes sense. It feels like you got to understand the characters a little bit more and their motivations, especially Jo's sort of motivations, and really got to understand why Jo is such hothead because we discover in this version, which is different to the versions I know, Mama actually has that tendency as well to be quite hot-headed. And you've got to see a little bit more of the development of Amy and Theodore's relationship, or Laurie or Teddy's sort of relationship, which is sort of feels a little bit sprung on in the 90s version. Not so, a little bit more fleshed out in the 19 version. This one feels a little bit more fleshed out. You can really see the scene where she pretty much rejects Teddy is a bit more powerful, I have to say, than the rest. I must say, it feels a bit more like you really feel for Laurie when Joe just flat out rejects him. And I love that scene at the end where they come back together and realize, yes, I love you, but Amy's my wife. And I feel like that is a bit more understanding. So I have to say, I rented it, and I think I probably will pick it up. I think it's a charming little version of Little Women. The only dig I have to say about this particular version is I would probably have more, because if some of the music felt a bit more contemporary, I wouldn't have had more contemporary sounding music. I would have had more classical sounding music, but that's just a nitpick. I think the series itself is beautifully shot, and I think you could really feel for a lot of the characters and a bit more of what they were going through. Now, I think I need to read Little Women and compare. Now, I think I need to rewatch the 90s version and give my thoughts on it, because I've reviewed it twice, but not the version I grew up with, which is so weird. Have you sat through Little Women 17? Please write comment section below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you think of any movies that are not part of those strike ones, please let me know, and I shall see you very soon. Ciao.